Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here. Tonight we're talking about WWE's Hell in the Cell 2019. What a weird finish to that show. I can honestly tell you that I didn't watch very much of the show at all. I turned it on. I watched Charlotte beat Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and then I went right into the main event of WWE Universal Champion Seth Rollins going up against Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, in the main event. This was the big show. I can honestly tell you that a bunch of my Sacramento wrestling fans that everybody knows all went to the show. But I was mostly proud of a kid that works for me. His name's Marcus. He bought tickets. I honestly told him that I thought he overpaid for the tickets that he did buy, but I was excited for him to be able to go to the show. So that's why it kind of sucks to have this smarky-ish thoughts about the main event. I'm hoping that he really enjoyed it. I hope that for being a fringe wrestling fan that was just sort of excited to go to his first show, that the Hell in the Cell paid off for him. But I can honestly say that WWE's never had a Hell in the Cell like this before. For this, the bright red light shining down on the cell. I do like the red cell. I know there was a little bit of a question out there today if WWE would use the red cell that they used last year, or would they go back to the more traditional, I guess you can say steel or black chrome looking cell that they've used in the past. Some people thought that maybe they wouldn't use the red one if they weren't going to be using the big guys to be fighting on top of the cell. I think it was McIntyre and Ziggler and Ambrose and Roman fighting on top, I would guess. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. I'm not even sure if that was the main event. The main event was Braun against Rollins, I think. It shows you how much you really think about WWE these days. But the main event did not go the way that I thought it was going to at all. I honestly thought it would have been Rollins just sort of barely escaping with his life with the victory. I thought that it would mean more to WWE to go into the draft with Seth Rollins as the WWE champion instead of having Bray Wyatt be sort of a cartoonish heel being the champion and trying to hype this up like it mattered where he got drafted. Because when it all comes down to it, I think the Bray Wyatt character goes wherever he wants to, whenever he wants to, and that's just the way it's going to be. He's going to be basically the new Undertaker of WWE. But instead, we saw Seth Rollins beat the living crap out of Bray Wyatt, only for the gimmick to be that Bray Wyatt can't be pinned. You can beat him up, you can lay him pretty much unconscious, but it's almost like he was basically playing possum. He kicked out every single time there was a 1 count. It didn't matter if he got hit with the pedigree, if he got hit with the stomp, if he got beat by kendo sticks and a ladder and every gimmick known to man that you can bring into Hell in the Cell. Rollins beat him up with it, and Bray just took it. It all came down to a disqualification finish, which in my mind has no place in WWE's Hell in the Cell. But the referee pleaded with Rollins not to hit Bray anymore, and he hit him. And the ref rang the bell, only for the backstage crew to come running down with the paramedics as they raised up the cell, trying to take Bray Wyatt out on the stretcher, only for Rollins to basically look like he was going to get one more shot. It was almost like he beat up Bray because Bray wanted him to beat him up, and it was like Rollins was like that kid who was about to get in trouble, and he had to try and plead with his mom that he did it for a reason, and he ran over to Bray tell him that you made me do it, kind of deal. It didn't make any sense. And the second that Rollins went in, and his guard was down. Bray slapped a mandible claw on him and then beat him up around the ring, only for him to put the mandible claw on him one more time, and Seth Rollins to start coughing up a huge amount of blood all over the floor. It was a pretty cool, if you're going for like a Halloween or some sort of a scary movie appeal. But to me, the thought that was going through my mind as I watched this match was the appeal of the Boogeyman. The Boogeyman, when he debuted on SmackDown back in the day, had his moment in the sun, but it was almost like, is this a character that WWE is going to bring out every year in September and have him through October, and then right after Halloween is going to get smashed or beaten up or sent off to the parts of places unknown somewhere out there, and we're just not going to see him for a year, because that's where he fits. You don't see Boogeyman running around on the Christmas edition of Monday Night Raw. That's just the way it is. So, I don't know. I can honestly tell you, looking, from the outsiders in, I only watched 2 matches. Thumbs down on Hell in a Cell 2019. Hopefully, when I talk to Marcus tomorrow when he comes to work, he'll have a smile on his face and he had fun at the show. And I can hopefully set him up with some tickets for the next time Raw or SmackDown, even a house show, comes to Sacramento.